Hey, welcome to FreightWaves. I'm excited to talk about Chattanooga, a town that I grew up in and it's dear to my heart. Right here in Freight Alley, it's something that when we think about what is happening and why companies in transportation and logistics should look at Chattanooga, I've got Kim White and Laura Ann to talk about what is actually happening. So, Kim, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you think Chattanooga is great for logistics startups.
Sure, thanks Craig, it's great to be here. I grew up in Chattanooga, left for 20 years and been back for 15. It's amazing what's happened in the city. I'm president and CEO of a company called River City Company that we focus on downtown redevelopment. We work on things as big as the aquarium and as small as downtown housing. And what we're trying to do is attract logistic companies like yours with people like are surrounding us today to Chattanooga.
And what about you, Laura? You're the COO of Reliance Industries, which is a big insurance company, but your customers are trucking companies.
Trucking companies across the country. So thanks again for having us over here today. Reliance Partners, we're right across the street here in what we like to call kind of Freight Alley, this area. And we just enjoyed seeing a lot of companies relocate to this part of Chattanooga. There's a lot of density in and around this part of downtown Chattanooga. We've just seen a lot of kind of coexisting together. It's been a really productive environment for us. And we, service the logistics and the transportation industry on a daily basis. So,
Craig, with your company and Laura's company, we really have become a Freight Alley.
I think, it's interesting because I think we're two companies, but there are over 50 logistics companies that do more than $10 million in Chattanooga. So certainly we are more present because we have a lot of folks that tune in and watch shows like this, but there's also a lot of other things happening. I mean, if you think about it, U.S. Express, Covenant, Kenco have their global headquarters here. Reliance, you guys are the fastest growing insurance company in the country. A lot of it's credited to your understanding of freight and logistics.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think the experience of our leadership team and the fast growth, the team that we get to recruit into this part of Chattanooga, it's just been amazing to serve the transportation and logistics industry and be able to grow our team. We focus a lot on diversity growth, diversity hiring, and so we've seen a lot of success in and around the Chattanooga community and the other offices that we've been expanding, but specifically here locally, we've just been able to recruit amazing talent to our area and have, that's been a big part of our growth. So,
well, it's interesting. Chattanooga's been working on quality of life for 35 years. And what we've been trying to do is make Chattanooga an authentic, unique place to attract employees and employers like yours to Chattanooga.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much about us. I think it has to do with the energy that you can invest in this sector. So let's talk a little bit about the efforts that your firm and the rest of the community have made to create a quality of life for businesses. What is it? What are those things?
Well, I think that Chattanooga is a very special place. We focused on having an authentic place that really celebrates the mountains, the rivers. You can be on the water or hiking within just a few minutes of downtown. So we've really tried to really celebrate and enhance our natural beauty. We have great restaurants, a great food scene here, and it's a walkable, bikeable city. So I think when you have beautiful art, beautiful surroundings, it does attract great companies and great people to our city.
But attracting business goes beyond attracting great quality. There's a lot of great places. Hawaii is a great place to live, beautiful, serene, but it doesn't define the business. Where do you think Chattanooga has played into the success of Reliance and more broadly the broader ecosystem here?
I think Chattanooga, being a consolidated community of logistics and transportation companies like Covenant, like U.S. Express, we get to pull from a group, a talent pool that understands the industry so fully. So for us, being able to recruit from Chattanooga and into Chattanooga from other locations, obviously the natural beauty plays into it, the work-life balance plays into it. We can sell the Chattanooga story really well and then layer on the logistics and transportation Freight Alley story too. And people are ready to come and be a part of this really cool community, growing and thriving, freight community that's expanding and growing here. So
one of the things that I hear a lot of folks talk about is the thought that perhaps Chattanooga is saturated in the logistics sector. The talent is saturated. I'm wondering, that seems, I can understand that, small community, a lot of companies based here, but are you guys running out of talent?
We're really not running out of talent. I think we're relocating a lot of talent. We're getting to steal people from Atlanta, Nashville, because obviously those are massive urban areas that are within 2 hours of Chattanooga. And so we're seeing people look for a different size city, a different type of experience. Again, to your point, Ken, there's a lot of major benefits to living in Chattanooga as a young professional. And for us, we've been able to see a lot of talent relocate to the area looking for that, a little more dynamic, work-life experience. So for us, we're bringing people to Chattanooga, and Chattanooga in and of itself creates a ton of really productive transportation and logistics talent for us. So
yeah, one of the things that, as I go out and talk to venture capitalists and they ask, can you build a successful business in Chattanooga and scale it and keep it there? The one thing that I would say about freight is that the job in logistics, these are destination companies. People want to work not only in our community, but more broadly, they want to work for Reliance, they want to work for FreightWaves, they want to work for Ride Logistics, and they see Trident, and I won't go into all the names.
The list goes on and on, doesn't it?
But the fact is that freight as an industry is a destination industry here in Chattanooga, whereas in other cities it's not so much. These are, in many ways, glamorous jobs relative to the community, and I think it's underappreciated. The other thing that I think is interesting as I talk to VCs is when you're in an industry where you're the only company in that industry, in that city, it's very hard to recruit talent. I experienced this when I was at Transcard, is we would try to get people to relocate. The problem was we are the only payments company in Chattanooga. And so it was very difficult to get anyone to permanently relocate. But if you're in freight and you move to Chattanooga and it doesn't work out, either the business, you don't like working at the business, you don't like the founders, or perhaps it didn't work out for whatever reason, you can go find another key role at another major fast-growing company in logistics.
That's a great point.
Right across the street, because everybody is so connected.
Yeah, I think it's the ecosystem here, the freight and transportation logistics ecosystem here is remarkably large for the size city that we're in. I mean, it's unbelievable how many jobs currently exist in Chattanooga and how many of the companies that you've mentioned are going to continue to grow that number of jobs exponentially over the next 3 to 5 years. I mean, it's really exciting to see that kind of talent really start to aggregate in and around this area. So again, we're big fans of being in Chattanooga. It's been hugely helpful for our growth, and again, great city. We've enjoyed it. It's
well,
fun.
you all have made a huge impact. I think one of the great things about a city of Chattanooga size is, as a company, you can come in and really make an impact in the city. And it's easy to get networked. We see so many people that have moved here, and to your point, have changed lots of different jobs, but they're here because they love the city. So what we're working on as a community is making Chattanooga the best it can be to keep companies and employees here and happy.
So let's talk a little bit beyond freight, but talk a little bit about, as a community, what are the reasons that businesses would want to locate in Chattanooga versus Atlanta and Nashville?
Well, we're getting a lot from Atlanta and Nashville just because of quality of life. We don't have the traffic issues. It is a walkable city. You can come in and make an impact. We have great outdoors. We have great restaurants. And so we are getting a lot of people and a lot of developers from Atlanta and Nashville that are coming here because Chattanooga is unique and it's a good sized city.
It's also a lot less expensive, right?
A lot less expensive.
If you think about it from taxes, there's no income tax. The capital gains is being phased out. I mean, effectively it is.
Yes.
if you're for the most part. Real estate taxes are relatively cheap. There's a lot of reason. I remember when we leased this building. It's $17 a foot, and I remember I was worried about taking it to our board because I was afraid they were going to be upset about the fact that this is going to be an expensive. It was going to double our rent from $10 a foot. And I remember taking it, and one of my board members said, "I just signed a lease for $120 a foot in what he described was Class C office space in San Francisco." He said, 17 foot is great, so get the best space and make sure everybody's taken care of. So.
I mean, I think most people would be amazed that you can get in a downtown $17 a square foot space, and you can still in Chattanooga.
And beautiful space.
Yes, beautiful space.
Our offices, your offices are quite. I don't know what
Thank
you're
you.
paying, but your offices are nice. And really, if you look at the businesses that are in transportation logistics that have invested in downtown, their offices are also, remarkably beautiful. Would compare to any in any community, I think, across the country.
No, I agree. I totally agree.
So Kim, one thing we're talking about is creating a logistics cluster here in Chattanooga.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about what you hope to see from that?
Well, I think when I look at companies and people are moving to downtown, and we have a lot of opportunity. And I think that if we look at all the companies that are located here, how we can actually expand and build a network with some of the surface parking lots. We're looking at a riverfront planning process right now, and I see tons of opportunity where we really can capitalize on what you all have already started. I look at what the city did with the Innovation District. They drew a ring around everything that was happening with innovation and really branded it and put it out there throughout the country, and it's done amazing. There's more happening in this network, in this industry, in this sector than is happening really in the Innovation District. So we need to capitalize on that.
And there's city incentives as well, state incentives, and you, River City and the Chamber, work with the companies to help find these incentives, identify them, and I understand there may be more effort and energy towards that specific in the logistics sector as well.
Well, I think there's a lot of momentum, and we'd be foolish not to sit down with a lot of the players and say, what do we need to do to really grow this in a big way?
Well, great. Well, I look forward to talking about that once that's defined and you're ready to speak about it. Thank you for coming here, and appreciate you guys tuning in. More information every day, 4 o'clock on FreightWaves now. We talk about the market and dive into it. Tune in on Friday where we get in and talk about the weekly rate update and talk about what's happening in the freight market.